here's what everyone's doing. Here's what we will be doing. We're gonna make this money. I'm gonna spend it all. I'm gonna work. And I'm concluding that we will have 10 million subscribers by the end of the year. And this is when we're like on 2 in January.
Why do you want to be the best YouTuber?
I don't fucking know, man. I just, ever since I was 13, I just made the decision I was gonna be a YouTuber. I was gonna die trying. Sounds different hearing me say it now, but I had that type of like devotion when I was younger. Like even when people would tell me it was crazy, no odds in my favor, with no equipment, no nothing, no social skills, no editing, no camera, no one to teach me, no one to help me. I was just like, I don't care. I'm gonna figure it out or I'm gonna die trying. And I like, even in high school, like, you know, when I'm 17 and not making any money and I have horrible grades and like, you know, people are like, okay, well, what are you gonna do after high school? And I'm like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. And they'd be like, how? And I'd be like, I don't know, but I'm gonna make it happen. If I never made it, you know, and I only had 5,000 subscribers, I would probably be working at McDonald's, still just grinding YouTube every hour I'm not working and like just going hard as fuck until I became a YouTuber. Imagine spending 10 years of your life only thinking about one thing every waking hour of the day. It is unhealthy how there's not a single person on the planet that's been more obsessed that same time span as me, because it's physically impossible. Almost every hour of the day, that's what I was doing. In math class, in English class, in any time of the day, I was thinking about YouTube nonstop the last 10 years.
How many hours do you work in a day?
Depends what you classify as work. The answer could be every hour I'm awake if just laying in bed thinking about YouTube is work. I would say since I was 11 years old, almost every waking hour of the day, I'm thinking of YouTube in some form or capacity.
One day, I literally got up and we had an 18-hour Skype call and then I went to bed and that's all I did. And we were just tearing apart YouTube videos, studying trends. I don't even know how I got food. It was that level of obsession. It was just dumb. It was so unhealthy. People would tell me, all you do is talk about YouTube. You're too obsessed with YouTube. Get a life. From 13 to like 19, I never met anyone who cared about YouTube. And so I was so untalkative. People thought like there was problems with me because I just wouldn't talk to anyone. Because all I would do is talk about YouTube. And after a while, like you realize like no one cares. Like you just get labeled as the guy that just only likes YouTube. And so I kind of just like didn't talk at all. And then when I was 19 and I had like 10,000 subscribers, that's when I started meeting a few other YouTubers online. And I realized I'm not a freak. I'm just like obsessed with YouTube, and that's okay. You just got to find other people that are like that. If you wake up and every day you obsess over something and you live and breathe it, and that's what you think about, that's what you do, that's what you study on and off, that's what you stay up every night grinding, and no one else even gives a flying about it, you just feel like a weirdo. And I was also like just dumb. Back then I didn't realize, oh, well, I just need to find different people. I thought like, oh, my whole life I'll just never enjoy talking to people. And then I met other YouTubers and then I started talking to them like 10 hours a day. Then that's when the channel really started taking off.
But what were you obsessed about? Were you obsessed about other channels, your channel?
Everything from like learning how to editing, the pacing of the videos, like ideas, what's going viral, what's trending, what's hot. Especially back then, I had no idea what worked. I mean, I had to like self-teach myself everything, even, you know, frame rate on cameras, coloring of the video, just stuff like that. I feel like it was almost like baked in my DNA. It just flows in my blood. The innate urge to create videos and to build a YouTube channel and build businesses. That's just what I do. And if I like try to take time off, I just get depressed. I feel like I lose my sanity. If I'm not creating, then I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm progressing. I just kind of feel like a waste of space, like a piece of if I'm not making videos. Up until 18, I had been doing YouTube pretty religiously, but I was making no money. Like this is kind of the turning point was when I graduated from high school. And my whole life, I was like, I want to be making enough money by the time I graduated to do this full time. And I wasn't. I was still only making a couple $100 a month. So I graduated high school and my mom was like, either move out or go to a community college. And I didn't have enough money to move out, but I hated school with a passion. But she forced me to go to community college. And that was the worst thing ever. Like that made me hate life. Like borderline suicidal. I just can't stand like having to just sit there and listen to this dumb stuff and listen to some teacher read out a book. So what I did was I would act like I was going to community college, but I would just work on videos in my car and edit and stuff like that. So I would act like I was going to college that whole time, but I wasn't. And I didn't have enough money to move out. And that was kind of when I was just like 15 hours a day, all in. I was like, I'm fucked. Most of my growth came actually after I graduated high school. Basically what I did was I somehow found these other like 4 lunatics. 3 of us were college dropouts. One was a high school dropout. And one, I don't know, he just like quit his job. We were all super small YouTubers. And we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And we would just call it like daily masterminds. We would just get on Skype every morning. And like some days, like I'd get on Skype at 7 a.m. and I'd be in the call until like 10 p.m. And then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up and I'd do it again. And, you know, we'd do things like take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views it got. Or like videos that get over 10 million views is like how often do they cut the camera angles or like things like that. We were very religious about it. And so that's where most of my knowledge came from, is I just surround myself with these lunatics, and just every day, like we didn't do anything. We had no life. They say 10,000 hours in mass or something. We probably put in like 40, 50,000 hours. I mean, we're talking like every day, all day, like literally nothing. We had no friends outside of the group. That was your life.
Weirdly enough, the best thing for my mental health was giving into my innate nature to work. The most depressed I get is when I try to restrict it and like, I don't work weekends or I don't work this day. What's best for me is just to work when I feel like working and then just not work when I don't, and just have no constraints, because there are just some nights where I don't want to sleep, and for whatever reason I feel compelled to go all night. Like, just do it, you know, do whatever you want is what I tell my working brain, and I just give into it. That's where I feel the happiest. And when I'm really in the grind mode, it'll be like 7 or 8 days just nonstop going, and then it's like I'll realize like, oh, I need some recharge time, and then go binge a season of anime.
From 13 to 16, I worked like 1,000 days in a row, didn't make a single dollar. I love it. It's not like I have to like motivate myself. It's just what I do. I just wake up and it just consumes me, and I just can't stop. And I've never been able to stop. And if I stop, I get depressed.
I don't recommend you guys try this. Schedules don't really work well for me. I'm in the zone and I like to go hard. I'm very obsessive. A lot of people will work 5 days a week and they won't work weekends, and ambitious people will try to like restrain themselves and be like, you know, this is the schedule. Can't work Saturday, can't work Sunday. That just never works for me. I always end up caving. So I found giving into my natural instinct works best. So I just work every day, every hour of the day, until I just burn out. So like I'll work all day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll keep going. And then usually around day 10, I'll wake up and I'm just like burnt. I'm like, I can't keep going. It's too much. Like I can't keep doing these like 12, 15 hour days. And then I'll take like half a day or maybe a day, depending on how severe it is. And I'll just chill, and I'll just kind of like nuke my calendar. And then by the next day, I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. And then I just do it again. And so it's weird, but that's what works really, really well for me.
If your goal is to be like a super successful entrepreneur, you need to either be working or you need to be doing something that decompresses and recharges you so you can work again. If your goal is to be like a really kick-ass entrepreneur, and obviously we're boiling this down to like a very basic thing. And so you got to like heavily recharge. So like watching, for me, anime or whatever it is, playing a board game, like that is actually kind of crucial to my success, which takes a lot of maturing to come to that conclusion, because I used to be the kind of guy that wanted to work every hour of the day, and I would try to train myself to not need that stuff, and I almost resented like that I have to do these kinds of things, and it would piss me off because it's not optimal, and you know, I just really want to make content and entertain people. But yeah, as someone who's gone down that road, and you know, you just work every day for 2-3 months straight, and you know, every hour of the day, and then you just a bomb waiting to explode and lose your mind.
Everyone's like, you're dumb. Like, even I had friends with like 3 or 4 million subscribers, and they're like, you'd be lucky if you even got close to me by the end of the year. And like that one year we went from 2 million to 10, or actually it was like 12 million subscribers, and everyone was just like, what? And I was like drawing 3-year plans. It's like, this will be here, this will be here, and this will be here, and like we killed all of them. But even then, like when I showed it to all the boys back then, they were like, nah, this is stupid. Like, you're out of your mind. Like, you know, we're not going from 2 to 10 to 30 and whatever. And I'm like, nope, this is what we're doing. We're gonna obsess. No one get a life. And then it just happened.
You just have to have a never-ending thirst for learning. Like, that's very imperative, especially if you want to get on top and then stay on top. The only way to do it is just to constantly be learning. Or someone who is learning is just gonna, you know, have a leg up on you in the knowledge game.
I was like, we're gonna be the biggest YouTube channel ever. I was like, I don't care, I'll fucking die trying. Like, I'm gonna obsess and grind, and they're always like, oh, eventually you'll get burnout. Eventually he's gonna slow down. He can't just grow like this forever. I was like, no. And so there were a lot of good people back in the day, but it's hard to like bet your entire life and everything on a 19-year-old. Just making shit up every day. And the only thing that was consistent is like, I woke up every day and I grinded and I obsessed, and I was like, I'm gonna die trying. Like, if we don't make it, I'm gonna try until the day I die. If I wanted to, I could just not build a snack brand. I could just not do a restaurant, and I could just not do a mobile game company, and I could just not do a gaming channel and a React channel. And I could just do my main channel. I'd probably be way happier and have way more free time, but that's just not who I am. And it sounds weird, but it's just ingrained in me. Those are the things that like get me up and get me out of bed. And like when I don't do them, I'm depressed. So I like pushing myself, and I see it as a sport, and like going hard in business and building them, even though it's stressful and it's very difficult. And like sometimes I'm like, you know, you have a mental breakdown. You're like, why am I doing this? Why did I push myself so hard? But then when you're not doing it, you're just depressed. But I love it. But sometimes I don't. And here I am.
People gave me so much advice on why I shouldn't be doing it, why I'm crazy. every step of the way, people wanted to tell me why I shouldn't be doing this and should get a life, should stop being too obsessed, everything under the book. And then once I'm successful, those same people are like, dang, you're a genius.
Back in the day, my goals used to be very subscriber-based or view-based. But one thing I've learned is like everything you want as a YouTube creator, every freaking goal you want to hit, whether it be subscribers, you want to hit 1 million or 10 million or whatever, will come if you just make the best videos possible. So my goal, and this is what it will be till the day I die, is to make the best YouTube videos possible. So if my hypothetical goal was 300 million subscribers in 10 years, that will happen if I just make the best videos possible. If my goal is to get 50 million views a video, that will happen if I just make the best video. Whatever it is, just focus on making the best videos possible, and all these other vanity arbitrary metrics will just fall into play. I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but that's just kind of like the mindset you have to have. Like, go hard and believe in yourself.
One thing I thought is, as I climbed this like ladder of YouTube and got bigger, I thought there would be tons of people like me. People like that take like the kamikaze approach to building a business. You just throw all your money in it, you throw all your time, you throw all your energy, you throw everything. You're just like, it's this or I'm dead. I thought there would be hundreds of me. And
there isn't.
There isn't. I mean, there's like maybe 1 or 2. And I talk to those motherfuckers every single day. I'm sick and tired of talking to them, but I love them. But it's just so interesting because like every level I got up, like I get 1 million subscribers. I'd be like, all right, where's all these guys with the 1 million subscribers that are psychopaths? And 20 million subscribers, 30. It's like every step of the way, it's like I just got more and more lonely, to be honest. Which it sounds cliche, and you hear that kind of shit in movies, and you're like, oh, that's not how it works. But it is. Like there's just not many people that just want to give up everything, go all in, then obsess over making the greatest goddamn videos every single day of their life. Like they're really hard to find. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting there'd be a lot of people like me.